Underinsured motorist coverage is a type of insurance coverage that you can get on your automobile, and it's very important. And the reason is that because the other party who hits you may only have $25,000 worth of liability insurance, which is all that the state requires that they have. But yet, when you're involved in an auto accident, you can be hurt a lot worse than $25,000. Between your medical bills and your wage loss, the pain and suffering and loss of quality of life, as well as any permanent injury you might have, your injuries can far exceed $25,000. So when that happens and you have underinsured coverage, then you can take advantage of your underinsured coverage to add on top of the other person's liability coverage in order to cover your damages. Most people think that you can stack your underinsured policy directly on top of the other person's liability policy. So for example, if the other person has the state minimum coverage of $25,000 and you have $100,000 of underinsured coverage, most people think, okay, that means I have a possible pot of $125,000 to draw from to pay for my injuries. However, that's not really how it works. Your insurance coverage on the underinsured policy gets to reduce their policy dollar for dollar by what you received from the other person. So if the other person has $25,000 of insurance coverage and you have $100,000, then actually you have the possibility of getting the other person's $25,000 and then $75,000 of your own coverage, which is your $100,000 minus the $25,000 credit that your underinsured insurance company gets. So when you buy underinsured coverage, you want to think about what is the maximum protection I want. If you want a maximum protection of $100,000, then you need to buy $100,000. If you want a maximum protection of more than that, then you need to buy more than that, because whatever the other person has, your insurance company will get a credit for that. And so the actual total amount will be whatever your underinsured limit is. A person ought to think, well, if I've got a lot to protect, then I should buy coverage to protect it. So if you feel like that because of your job and your obligations in terms of expenses and that sort of thing are pretty high, then you want to have a high policy limit. $100,000 I think is a minimum of what everybody should have on their underinsured. They might want to go to a higher limit of $250,000, but $100,000 at least, because my experience has been that when you add up your medical bills and your wage loss, the pain and suffering of enduring the injuries, the loss of quality of life that you have, and then maybe any permanent injury, most of the time that's going to exceed the minimum coverage of $25,000, which a lot of people out on the road have.